be introducing our panelists now. We have Dr. Gani Enaro is on call. Dr. Ella will be reading his now. Dr. Gani Enaro. Dr. Ella, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun. So Dr. Gani is a highly experienced veterinarian and animal health leader with strong expertise in veterinary practice, policy, and international advisory work. He currently serves as the Senior Advisor, Animal Health at FAO and holds key global leadership roles, including Counselor for Africa and Chair of the Policy Committee of the World Veterinary Association, as well as member of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. He has previously led major professional bodies such as Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association with the African Veterinary Association alongside his international roles. He runs GAN Rovets Nigeria Limited and GAN Rovets Animal Hospital, combining clinical practice and research, training and capacity building in animal health systems with growing engagement in digital and data-driven innovations shaping modern veterinary practice. Dr. Gani, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Even though
welcome, sir.
Those are old glories you are giving to me. I'm quite
My
a new
apologies.
a student now. Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So moving on to
Yes,
our next panelist, Dr. Moses Arokoyo. I read his bio earlier, so welcome back, Dr. Moses. And then we have Dr. Puspa Ramlo. Dr. Puspa is a Malaysian-born veterinary surgeon and managing director of House of Pluto in Lagos, Nigeria. She specializes in companion animal care, treating dogs, cats, rabbits, exotic pets, and horses, while emphasizing preventive medicine and zoonotic disease control. Known for her advanced diagnostic and surgical skills, she views veterinary practice as a vocation dedicated to both animal and human health. Beyond clinical work, she mentors young veterinarians and advocates for sustainable veterinary enterprises in Nigeria. Her vision is to elevate pet healthcare standards and inspire graduates to thrive locally despite economic challenges. Welcome on board, Dr. Puspa.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Then moving on to our final panelist, Dr. Femi Kayode. Dr. Femi Kayode is a veterinarian, social entrepreneur, and founder, CEO of Farmalat, an animal healthcare company expanding access to veterinary service across underserved communities in Africa. A former member of the governing board of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, he championed the integration of technology into veterinary regulation and service delivery. His work focuses on leveraging innovation, digital solutions, and entrepreneurship to improve livestock systems, strengthening veterinary practice, and expand access to quality animal health care, making him a valuable contributor to the conversation on the future of AI in African animal health. Welcome on board, Dr. Femi.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Happy to be on board.
Thank you, sir.
We are very privileged to have with us such an exceptional panel of experts, and they'll be bringing their perspective from veterinary practice, from policy sector, from innovation, and of course from leadership. So our discussion format is very simple. I will pose questions to our individual panelists, and I would also occasionally open them to the entire panel. Their responses will be very concise to allow diverse perspectives, and we'll conclude with a rapid fire closing round where each of the panelists will share one key priority for Africa's AI future in veterinary medicine. So I'll be doing that interchangeably with my co-moderator, Dr. Emanuela. So this question would be to all panelists. As we know, throughout history, society has continually evolved from the agricultural revolution to the industrial age, then to the digital age, and now into the era of artificial intelligence. Every major technological shift has transformed the way we live, the way we work, the way we communicate, and also the way we solve problems. And veterinary medicine has also evolved from the traditional animal husbandry practice to now modern diagnostics, and we have advanced therapeutics. Now we have digital health records, and now we are talking about artificial intelligence powered system. And as we stand at the beginning of another major transformation, many professionals are asking, what does this mean for their careers? What is the relevance and what is the future of animal healthcare with AI adoption? So, this is my question. As we navigate this new era of artificial intelligence, what do you believe this evolution means for the future of animal health professionals in Africa? Specifically, what opportunities excite you the most? What concerns do you have? And what mindset shifts do African veterinary professionals need to adopt today? So let's begin with Dr. Gani Enauru, then we proceed to Dr. Moses, Dr. Puspa, and finally Dr. Femi Kayode.
Thank you.
Dr. Gani.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm here. Let me say very quickly that artificial intelligence will find its relevance in all spheres of life without exempting us as animal health practitioners, veterinary surgeons. If we don't do it, if we don't catch up with it, the train will leave us behind. But whether we like it or not, we remain in a society where our clients will have to now dictate for us what we need to do, because they would be at par or in good speed with AI, and then we that are supposed to give directions to what our clients require may end up being directed by our clients. And in the past, if you remember, I don't even want to go into all the evolution space from industrial agriculture to industrial technology age. And now let's look at even recently with Mr. Google, or rather Dr. Google, which is so recently before AI came, our clients were beginning to talk to Dr. Google before they come to us for consultation. Were they believing Dr. Google? Yes, they were. Now, this is even higher status now with AI. So what will happen to us as veterinarians if we don't catch up quickly is that there will be more litigations. Maybe this is negative. We are going to have people ask AI if a veterinarian is not sticking to the standard operating procedures that AI has listed for them, they will ask AI, what should we do? And AI will tell them to go to court. That's supposed to be a political language in Nigerian lexicon. When you lose an election, if it had been rigged, you see the winner tell you to go to court. So we will soon begin to see more litigations in veterinary practicing, and of course in animal health services, because AI will tell the client to go to court and they will go to court. So we should be ready for more litigations, because this is an era of information. Now, we also need to begin to expect a curriculum change. I'm sorry if I'm repeating anything Dr. Moses would have said, or Patrick, if I'm right, because I joined very late and I didn't even know I was going to be on this panel discussion until about 2 hours ago due to communication gaps. So if I'm repeating whatever anyone have said, please pardon me for that. There would be a curriculum change in training animal health practitioners like us. We now need to have our trainers first believe that AI exists in a very strong way. Whether they like it or not, they need to begin to train themselves too before they also train the students of tomorrow and the veterinarians that will come thereafter. That must happen. Then we will definitely have an improvement on CPDs now, because those of us who are never trained in these modern technologies will now have to rely on CPDs to be able to catch up. So which means the Veterinary Council and all CPD providers will have to enhance the quality of CPDs that they will have to give to the veterinarians. In other words, we need to be on top of the game if we must continue to exist. So there will be more knowledge. There will be more knowledge, which is very good. Which is very good. I will quickly refer to the stories around GMOs now, genetically modified, foods here and there. The criticisms around it is typical African for us to be very suspicious, to be very superstitious. I think AI is coming in even a brighter way because the youth has been promoting it, which makes it quite a good force, Not that the elderly ones are telling the youth what to do. Now the youth are catching up with AI and then dragging us who are older than them along with it. Otherwise, if you look at what the GMOs has done to the world, in the European world and the United States, you have market differentiation where agricultural products are labeled as organic and then, of course, inorganic. So when you're buying, you know what you're buying. But people don't understand that the background to this is because of the sophistication and litigation possibilities in those environments. If you don't tell them and they get to know, they could go to court. But here, despite all the benefits around GMOs, people still have that suspicion that if in other climes, they are having such discrimination or disintegrations of marketing or segregation of marketing, it means that the GMOs are suspiciously not good. So those are the kind of things that even within the veterinary space, we need to begin to see some of us hold back. But like Dr. Moses said, I had that bit of him. Those who are veterinarians who are not going to be AI compliant, we have to be ruled and dragged along by those veterinarians who are compliant. I think that's where I would like to stop in my 1 minute opener. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Gani. Let's hear from Dr. Moses.
Yeah. Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to you, our elder statesman, Dr. Gani, MNI. Thank you for joining in, Dr. Puspa, my friend and colleague, Femi also. Thank you for being here. So I'll keep it very short. In 1976, Kodak was leading the US market as far as film production was concerned. 1976, Kodak was controlling, I think, 90% of the US film market. You can imagine that 90% was being controlled by one company, Kodak. And, somewhere down the line, technology came, digital camera came, and Kodak lost the market. As in, Kodak went bankrupt. From being a market leader in 1976, Kodak went bankrupt because of technology drive. Now, the funny thing was, I got to know that as of 1975, Kodak had discovered what digitalization could do to film industry, but they were afraid. There was this skepticism So they never brought digital camera to the fore, even though they discovered it in 75. Because as of 76, they were controlling 90% of the US market. And then technology came, digitalization came. I leave that to us all to be the judge of how this applies to AI revolution. The second thing I'm going to say, and I'll hand over, is that do you know that there are vaccines today that are vector vaccines? They call them vector vaccine, vector-driven vaccines. In 2014, I probably was the first person to bring that vaccine to the country, courtesy of my history with Merial, and we began to do training. Now, this vaccine is such that if you give a broiler one shot of vector vaccine, that broiler does not need to repeat IBD vaccination for the life of that bird. You don't need this 3-4 Gomboro vaccination. And I have proofs and evidences as of 2014 to show to that effect. And then SIVA and other companies began to bring the vaccine. We need to awaken to the realities of our time as veterinarians. We need to align. We will gain speed, accuracy, and far-reaching effects professionally if we begin to align ourselves to knowledge, to technology, to this AI revolution. There are things I used to do for 3 days. I do them now under 4 hours. Imagine that. Why will I say my inheritance is a Volkswagen if Rolls-Royce is given to me? Why will I insist? Am I cursed that none of my lineage will drive a Rolls-Royce? That is how it is. Let's wake up to the reality, embrace the change, apply them. This is not about being replaced. This is about creating more efficiency and delivering quality service. Thank you. Over.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Puspa.
A very good afternoon, and thank you for the invitation, especially our distinguished Dr. Moses, Dr. Ghani, and Dr. Femi. Happy to be here, and everybody else. If you ask me, I would say AI will be a force multiplier. And I think Dr. Patrick and Dr. Moses have already spoken, elaborately. Those who adopt and adapt will improve outcomes and access, while the core role of the trusted, empathetic clinician remains central. I think we, being a veterinarian, we will not lose our job as long as we can adapt to it and keep our competence right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Puspa, for that concise contribution. Dr. Femi.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And I want to also acknowledge the presence of Dr. Ghani Enaro MNI, somebody we would always look up to. And then to our performing MVMA chairman, the shoe you are leaving behind, I hope somebody will be able to wear it. And of course, to Dr. Puspa, one of, I think Nigeria became a lucky star the day you decided to stay in Nigeria. Thank you for inspiring us and for being so warm. And to Vet Connect, the more we do things like this, I think the more sensitized the community is and the better we become. One hand cannot wash the entire body. It has to be two hands. And I want to laud what Vet Connect is doing. Well done. To add my own small, small contribution. So you are irreplaceable, really. The human,
Thank you, sir.
God. So I believe in God. So God created us to be irreplaceable. So don't be afraid that anything can replace you. What will be replaced is what you do. So if your identity is in what you do, then you're up for some identity crisis. Work will be optional in another 10 years. There's already a prediction that by 2050, there will be 10 million robots. So I think we should be discussing two things. releasing a book for the African continent. We should be discussing two things with the advent of AI. First of all, who are we? That you're a veterinarian will not be enough in another 5 years. And I have a few propositions, what I would suggest, but there will be identity crisis and defining who you are. Because what you do will be replaced by machines that can do it better. It will be replaced by machines that you will not be able to compete with how fast AI is moving. It's just practically impossible. It's unimaginable, not it's impossible. It's unimaginable. Uh, uh, you have to tear open something before you see the internal organ. So humans have limitations. With an X-ray, you don't need to tear an animal open. So that's a tool elevating human capacity. Right. So there will be better tools than the X-ray machines you use. So what you do will be outperformed by machine. And so the real conversation is who are you? And I really don't want to go into that because that will open up a lot of Pandora boxes. The next conversation we need to be discussing in the veterinary profession is, so if tools will be more powerful than my human element, so how do I use this tool? We need a new set of trainings, not the ones that uses scalpel, but the one that uses the new tools. So when our parents, during my parents' time, the tools you use in communicating is letter. You write a letter, ditto, and send it through NIPOS. It takes 2 weeks. My generation now are using mobile phone. I have a 4-year-old son. They will not need mobile phones. It's their thoughts that will be controlling activities around the house. So again, now listen, your thoughts will be controlling activities around your house. It's not Antichrist. Tools will be better. So two conversation, we need to start resolving who are we. And then the second conversation, we need to start retraining that and knowing that the tools we currently use now will be obsolete in another 3-4 years. The rate at which things are changing, we are not set for it yet. And that's why I applaud again VetConnect for even creating these conversations in the consciousness of people that something is coming, just like Noah's Ark. There's going to be a rain that will flood what it is that you have based your identity on as a vet. So if you're not in the ship where you have really defined and you are stable in what you think about yourself, you will be taken away by the flood. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Femi, for that profound contribution. I was also captivated by your smile and laughs. Thank you, sir. All right, Dr. Manuela. So we have very few minutes more. We'll just have two more questions. Dr. Manuela would ask the second, and I would ask the rounding question, and then we move to the next thing. Dr. Manuela.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun. So the next question focuses on how we'll move from conversation to implementation. I'll be directing this to Dr. Moses. So what practical steps should Africa take over the next 5 years to move from discussing AI to implementing AI solutions that benefit animal health professionals and livestock producers?
Okay, thank you very much. I would keep it simple. We need to take practical steps. In my presentation, I had a 5-year roadmap, but because of time, I didn't go into that aspect. So Africa needs to invest in digital infrastructure. We are very weak in that regard. Our infrastructures are weak. And now if we want to talk about digital infrastructure, it's even weaker. We need to invest into that, and we need to strengthen human capacity like Dr. Gani already said, and Femi alluded to it. We need to do the veterinary school training needs to change. It needs to change yesterday. I mean, we should be talking digital epidemiology and things like that. Those are the kind of things we should be talking about. We need to look at strengthening our human capacity in the regard of the curriculum. Something needs to be done urgently beyond just investing in digital infrastructure. Then lastly, to give time for others, we need to create digital platforms. I said during my presentation, I tried to earmark from the farm to the market. We need to start to have a platform that have this level of data. We are so poor in terms of data in Africa. We are so poor, and in our own little way, we are trying to do a couple of things about that. And there are a couple of meetings we foresee coming up sometimes in July into August. We need to have, telemedicine is here and we cannot shy away from it anymore. Like Dr. Gani said, if you don't, I mean, somebody just go online, plug things into an application and orders for what he wants. He say, okay, here we will not do it. You won't do it here. The guy would order for it overseas and they will ship it to him here. So we need to have a retraining. I don't know, but our curriculum, something urgently needs to be done. Why would we graduate and not be able to meet day one challenge? Why? I mean, why should I go to school and spend 6 years and then I'm graduating? I cannot meet the day one challenge, as it were, because I was trained based on an old curriculum. Something needs to be done very urgently about that. And when I say that, I'm speaking also to myself in my position. We need to do something, probably with CPDs starting from there. And then we need to drive the fact that this curriculum is no longer going to be enough. It's enough today, it's not enough for tomorrow. And we need to do something very fast about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Moses. Thank you so much. Dr. Femi, I would like to invite your thoughts on this.
Okay, well, it's difficult uh, to define roadmaps in a way that okay, so let me this way, and everything Dr. Moses has said works. But I think what I want us to start with is even the ambition that we want to be a better country or a better profession. Tools doesn't matter if your current situation, the veterinary, I want a situation where the veterinary profession in Nigeria thinks at par as the veterinary profession in other parts of the country.
Of the world.
Of the world, right. So together with Dr. Puspa, who were in ABU, and I could vividly see Dr. Puspa not happy that a surgical table was not cleaned. So we're still battling with even cleaning our surgical tables. So even if we lay the foundation of, fantastic, digital infrastructure is very poor, we need to lay those foundations. But it's like we went to Edo with the honorable minister, and the federal government built a cold room almost like 5-6 years ago that were never opened in front of an abattoir. You didn't hear that. Let me say it again. The federal government invested a lot of money, built a standard cold room, caged it in front of an abattoir, and that cold room was never opened. An infrastructure takes on the ambition of the people. So we need to start infusing in young people that we are all on earth in a race. So I cannot at this stage now be teaching a student who want to compete on a global stage that you need to clean your table. The person will never use AI. We need to infuse ambition in the heart of our young people. We need to infuse ambition in the heart of veterinarians. Let me tell you the reason why Dr. Moses is doing a brilliant job as the president. He is exposed to, you see, you will want to say your mother's soup is the sweetest. It's because you've not tasted another person's mother's soup. Once we start exposing ourselves to better systems, and that desire rises, even if the infrastructure is not there, we will build it ourselves. Where there's a will, there's a way. So it's first of all this desire that the world is moving, and we are not that dumb to just watch others move. God also put us in the planet to move with others and not be stagnated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Femi, for that amazing perspective. Dr. Gani, do you have anything to add to what has been said?
Ordinarily, I should not have, because they've spoken from the from the heart. But just to say that because I also have the privilege of visiting quite a number of African countries. I think I've done 30 now. And I know that the veterinary service stature is not the same all over. We need more enhancement of what others are doing that makes them look low compared to what some of the other countries like Nigeria is offering, because we are discussing Africa now. If we don't do that, they will slow us down. Unfortunately, what South Africa is doing recently is frightening. The Afrophobia issues is not allowing the kind of integration that should be. Integration in training, integration in regulations. I'm happy Femi has recently made inroads with that into Liberia, into some other African countries, Ghana. He knows what I'm talking about. Most of the Francophones don't even look this way. They rather look for French consultants to work for them than look for Nigerian surplus, in quote, veterinarians looking for jobs from this direction. They don't look this way. So we need to close more of the gaps. We need to allow that integration to work. That collaboration must work. And back home, we also need to talk to ourselves. The president has just said it, Dr. Moses, that our data collection in Nigeria, I'd laugh many times when, despite all the investment in our sector, the livestock sector, including ourselves back home in the veterinary sector, we still rely on manual filling of forms to submit disease reporting. A lot has gone into animal health information system, but it's more in investment and paper and talks than in the practicality of it. How many paperwork can you aggregate to be able to allow, analysis that should be useful in this modern age of today? So we need to talk to ourselves. Perhaps there is some gains for those who are still sticking to the old ways of doing things. So we need to panel-beat ourselves and ensure that our data collection methods start from being digital. And then, of course, we can take it up from there. Those are just the additions I have to make to what Dr. Moses and Femi have said. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gani, for that addition. I'll be handing over to Dr. Abiodun now.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Manuela. Let's have a comment from Dr. Prosper concerning that as we move to the closing round.
I don't think I have much comment on this. I'm just going to add something to what Dr. Femi was saying. Yes, people have to be ready in Africa. Like, when I first came here, we want to teach the, village kids how to wash hands. But then we realize actually they don't have water to wash hands. They don't have clean water to wash hands. So in that sense, but I'm also very grateful that while we were in ABU, though, but in seconds or within a few hours, all students got together and they got to clean up the whole operation theater and it became clean. So things can be done. It's whether you want to do it or not. So you have to move forward. And also, I'm very thankful that, in ABU, again, coming back to technology, I was doing surgery and Dr. Fami's team, had all these, technological tools that they were live telecasting the surgery that I was doing to the auditorium where all the students were watching. So that is impressive. So whether we want to do it or not moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Puspa. So I will direct this last question to you while others had their contribution before the closing round. So one of the biggest concerns surrounding AI globally is the fear that AI learning machines may eventually replace professionals. And in veterinary medicine, however, our work extends beyond diagnosis, it extends beyond treatment. We need to have ethical judgments. We have the ABC of veterinary medicine, where we have to have
Fine. Good evening,
empathy,
sir.
communication. There's the aspect of leadership, there is professional responsibility, and all of that. Though AI can process data, AI can identify patterns, but it really cannot replace human wisdom. It cannot replace clinical experience or that VPC, the veterinary client relationship. So as AI now is becoming increasingly integrated into diagnostics, into decision support systems, practice management, now we have it in surveillance, in animal health monitoring. How do we ensure that technology enhances, not replaces the judgment, the ethics, the compassion, and professional identity of veterinarians? So where should the boundaries of AI exist?
Thank you so much, Dr. Biodun. And so I graduated in 1998. So I come from the pre-digital days, and then to the AI knocking on our doors now. Here's the deal. Tech is just a scalpel blade, not a surgeon. So we humans still have to be the surgeon. Of course, we can talk about robotic surgeon, but the robotic surgeon, the robotic machine which does surgery still have to be controlled and contributed and monitored by a human doctor or medical practitioners. So we still need the hands, the eyes, and I've seen this before, our gut feelings. I think I always say that, veterinarians have got such a noble profession, and also we are good with all our senses, hearing, seeing, sense of smell. So because this is developed and we are a human being, but AI or gadgets don't have that. They are just so robotic. So tech is only good as you are. So what I would like to say is, like last week we had a AI that flagged in for an X-ray saying that likely fracture. That turns out to be, it was just an artificial, positioning. Because the last metatarsal or the dew claw was kind of overlapping. And then we realized that, hey, your positioning is not right, though the AI is saying that looks like a fracture. But if you didn't have the experience, if you don't have that communication, these cannot be right. And then another thing, being human being, compassion cannot be coded. So a client once asked me to euthanize a cat because the cat is old and he's in a lot of pain, osteoarthritis. And I said, no, probably we can discuss this. It's let's treat and manage the pain. But can AI say that? Can AI, so you put into the ChatGPT saying that my cat has having this, it's this old, it will say it's probably best to euthanize the cat. But, we being as human being, we get to discuss and be compassionate, put in the empathy, element to communicate with our client and also with our patients. And then professional ethics are your domain. I must say that. In our practice here, AI suggested a chemo protocol for lymphoma, but the owner couldn't afford it. If they are just relying on the AI saying that, oh, okay, this is a chemotherapy, but what else? But we tweaked it, to fit the pet owner's budget, and plus increasing or putting the element of quality of life of the patient. So what I'm trying to say is AI can't navigate those messy human choices. So it has to be both. We cannot depend just on AI or ChatGPT. Last week, we had a client who comes in with a ChatGPT saying that, hey, doc, you told me what are the medication that you use, dexamethasone, but here it says dexamethasone is contraindicated because the dog was vomiting. But then you did not tell AI that the dog was already on omeprazole and the dog was not vomiting because of gastric ulcer, but the dog was vomiting because gastroenteritis. So your input has to be right if we are depending on AI. AI is a great at speed, but I think they are terrible at nuance. Um, so how I use tech without losing the human touch. I use AI as a second opinion because, I am speaking as a practitioner, as a clinician. So AI is always for us to double check as a second opinion. But that is, again, you have to use your common sense, your experience, your competence, to go about the case. If the cat is crashing, I trust my gut first more than what the AI says. We can take the, whatever information that you get from AI, but again, the decision has to be made by you. I don't think we can ever outsource empathy. This is something, I advocate so much in our practice. Empathy is something that I can't practice without. AI can write a consult note, but I deliver the diagnosis. Plus, I can always give a hug. So that kind of, gives a different touch to your profession and to your business itself. And then let's say we are teaching students. I make them explain the AIs and why. Why is the AI saying that? So we still have to think and then add our own. But in this case, that's where the learning happens. Without the why, we have to question, we have to be curious, we have to implore. And then in our practice also, being clinicians, transparency with clients is just so important. That, keeps the trust high between us. So I just would say that the balance we need to strike is do not delegate judgment to AI. You can suggest, but you decide. AI can suggest, but you are the one who's supposed to decide. And then use tech to free up your time. Things can be just done so fast. You want to do a digital Instagram, of your practice, to post on Instagram. You can use AI. It really saves your time than just, doing it one by one yourself. You can just give all the information you want and it can create for you. So it can really free up your time, but then you have more consult minutes, which means, more compassion, you are communicating. So practice the augmented medicine, again, talking in the point of a clinician and a practicing veterinarian. So which would give a better outcomes. And then stay curious, be skeptical. Is this AI right? Always question. So this is where your competency comes. Don't just follow blindly. So to all
Yes.
vets, especially students, the art of medicine is listening to the patient,
Mm.
really checking on them, and then the pet parent, listen to your pet parent, not the machine. Sometimes, I get some hematology, all the results, and then say it just, it's just 0.01 point higher, and then it will mark an arrow, red arrow saying that it's high. But then that's not significant at all. If you're going to just follow that, but that's not significant. It can even say that, oh, okay, RBC is slightly higher, but actually the animal is just slightly dehydrated, or probably the animal was just stressed. So this is, again, we have to use the human element. So tech lets us be more human if we lead with heart and brain. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Puspa. Thank you so much. It's artificial intelligence, not artificial wisdom. So it still depends on humans for the compassion, for the empathy responsibilities. Thank you very much. So we have this question. I will start from you and I will pass it around our panelists as we round off for today. So if we have, or if you have the opportunity to tell every one of us on this section tonight, if we are to successfully adopt artificial intelligence in veterinary medicine, what is that one thing we must absolutely get right? Dr. Femi earlier mentioned about ambition, which is a very key and vital thing we have to get right. But if we are to successfully adopt artificial intelligence in veterinary medicine in Nigeria and Africa at large, what is that one thing that we must get right? Dr. Puspa.
Sorry. Okay. We must get it right. I would still say artificial intelligence is there, but without clinical intuition and pattern recognition, I don't think we can do much. So competence is still important. AI won't catch the vibe, where you are around. So I would say the clinical intuition and pattern recognition.
Thank you. Dr. Moses, one thing we must get right if we are to successfully adopt AI in Nigeria and Africa at large.
Okay, so it's two sides to the coin. Take a look around you. We go to school, right? And then we graduate. Then we get employed by some people who never went to school. So does that mean we shouldn't go to school? Just take a look around. The guys who own all of the big companies employing everybody and across the country, they probably are not as learned as some of their employees. Now, the argument would be, okay, so maybe school is not useful then, there is no need going to school. If we go that path, we are going to the extreme because school education is fundamental, is needed, and is very important. And that is the way I see this topic, this AI. AI is important. We need to adapt to the change. It's not today. Industrialization came, mechanization came. Those who didn't adapt, they were left behind because they felt, what is this machine? What is this? In the same way, this is AI revolution. We cannot spend it all bad. We have to embrace this that has come in order to be more efficient. It adds to us. It's not going to take away from us, and it's a tool. So we remain in charge. But having said that, we need to create an enabling environment if we will get it right. And when I say that, it cuts across, it's not a discussion we can have today. You have very smart Nigerians, very smart guys very knowledgeable guys. The enabling environment is not there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, go to US, go to South
Mm.
Africa, just travel around. You see the best doctors they are Nigerians. The enabling environment is not just there. So if we must get it right, the country as a whole needs to begin to create an enabling environment. People have ideas. One guy, very young guy now, just built an helicopter from fragments of some things thereabout. Now, what happens to him now? If he doesn't get lucky, if he doesn't meet a destiny helper, that idea will die with whatever. So
Very true, sir.
the government needs to create. We need to create, whether by partnership, which is part of what we are discussing today. We need to find a way around enabling environment. For me, I think that is key. And then lastly, we must combine our veterinary expertise with digital literacy. And that is, for me, my parting words. We have veterinary expertise experience. I mean, what do you pay for Dr. Gani's experience of over maybe 40 years or so? Well, you can't pay for that. You can't exchange that. He can only offer you part of it.
Yes, sir.
But then we need to take this expertise and add digital literacy to it so that we don't start complaining tomorrow. Otherwise, reality is we'll be out of job. That is the reality. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Gani?
Yeah. Okay. Let me start on what so said. Very serious we must take that we must never over otherwise a local contextual judgment, just like empathy you can't then we also must know that it for using it we that we get from AI alone. Then when the chips are down, who would we say is responsible for the decisions we have taken as veterinarians? We can't go to court and plead AI told me to do this. No, I mean, that would take your certificate away from you. I have I've queried some of the outcomes of AI opinions one or twice. There was a time I was doing a research, and then I asked for the author of a particular quotation, and he gave me an option that was not correct. And I said, no, this is not it, even though the name was the same. And AI replied and said, oh, okay, bros. And, in fact, I was beginning to wonder then if that was written by a worry man, because he used the word bros before he gave me the correct answer. So, which means that we are responsible for whatever decisions we take, and that is what AI would never give to us. And our let me use the language data collection method, like I said before, economically and politically related. So when you feed it into AI, what you get will be the garbage in. To be very mindful of what you do and be the questions are asked. Who talking? We can't say it is AI. We are going to be and then face the consequences we make. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And finally, let's have Dr. Femi contribute.
All right.
Dr. Abiodun,
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
have you been cut off
No, I'm
or
with you,
I'm cut
sir.
off here?
Well with you, sir. Dr. Femi, you can go ahead, sir.
Okay, all right. Good. So I'll just make it a bit snappy. I have quite a lot of thoughts in my heart, and I'm wondering how best to close this. So first, I went to a meeting with Dr. Moses 2 days ago or so, and of course, he got an award, and we need to thank the organizers of the award, and to also say we're proud of Dr. Moses. But when Dr. Moses was asking me about whether to go for the award, my answer was a bit draggy. I didn't want him to go. First, I'm not an award person. Then, secondly, uh, I think I judged the guy based on my experience for last year. So by the time we got to this award, of course, Dr. Moses accepted it and we went. The change were very obvious. The guy had moved forward. The things around him were better. We can't judge the inadequacies of AI and accept that that's what will happen in another 5 years. AI is learning. See, I'm telling. Okay, so for the elderly ones, I'm not. So again, I really don't overflog my points with the elderly ones, but for the younger ones, I'm very convinced that your job will not be necessary in another 10 years. I'm 100% convinced how you do what you do now will not be necessary. I'm also convinced that work will be optional in 10 years. So the inadequacies of AI now should not make you not learn it. So I have an AI tool and it tells you 80% confidence, sometimes 100%, and it might miss it. But AI is currently learning and is learning at a faster rate. You take a child into kindergarten, it takes the child 16 years to graduate. It will take what takes a child 16 years to learn. It will take AI less than 1 year. The rate at which AI learns is faster than whatever revolution we have seen. So if you hit on AI's inadequacies today, trust me, AI, like Dr. Ghani said, he will say, bros, don't worry. I'm learning. Give it another 1 year and you will see AI perfect what you've beaten down today. And I will end by saying this. I wrote an Instagram post and somebody was defending that in another 5 years, it will be optional to die. Just imagine, can you even think about that? We were all being conditioned all my years. Every time you see people die, my younger sister's husband lost his dad yesterday. Every single seconds we are being awakened by the fact that death is painful. And yet somebody is predicting that AI is learning how to repair genes in your body. And in another 5 years, it will be optional to die. We might say it's not possible, but again, quite a lot were said not possible that are possible today. So for young veterinarians, learn how to use the tool. Again, open your heart. It's better you get into the future armed than getting into the future thinking AI is not delivering today and be surprised by tomorrow. I was telling a group of people, it's better you're over prepared today. AI will most likely replace every aspect of work in another 10 years. Elon Musk has predicted that there will be 10 billion robots, more than the human population. If you don't believe that he's worth a trillion, I think you should take what he's saying with a bit of some seriousness. And let's not convince ourselves to the point where we are not running fast. I want to be a prophet of doom to Africa for the next 5 years. That we will either be a data point or we will be an originator of progress. And God forbid we're data point. Facebook now has made us data point. He built his wealth on our attention. So if you are not paying, if you are not paying physical money, you are paying with your time, you are paying attention with your attention. And so I want us to be a driver in the veterinary profession. Let young people start building AI tools. Experiment, fail. Let people condemn me. Let people say, no, I have 30 years experience. That's not how it is, blah, blah. Just keep on building and don't ever give up on using the tool to advance what it is that we're currently doing. In another 5 years, you might turn out to be the winner. Don't relax. Biko, thank you very much.
Powerful. Thank you very much, distinguished panelists, for sharing that beautiful experience. Thank you so much for your responses. As we can all see, today's discussion has reminded us that AI is not just merely about technology, it's about partnership, it's about our readiness, our preparation, and most importantly, about purpose. We have heard that AI will not replace us as veterinarians, but veterinarians who embrace AI will lead the future. Dr. Gani has put a time frame to it. So we are looking at 5 years' time. And we also know now that no institution can drive this transformation alone. By Dr. Moses' presentation, we know that we need to collaborate between the government, the academia, industries, and also with fellow practitioners. It is very, very essential. And perhaps most importantly, our professions, humanity, our ethics, our empathy, our compassion must remain at the center of this innovation, as Dr. Puspa said. Thank you so much to our panelists for that wonderful section. So we'll take just 2 questions or contributions from the audience while we round off for today. Just raise your hand in 1 minute. You can share your contribution as we round off. Just raise your hand and you'll be called. Anyone? Contribution, question? All right, while we wait for that, please help fill in the post section link right there in the chat box. It is being shared again. Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
sorry to cut you short. I don't want to exit without due respect to our elder statesman, Dr. Gani here, and to other panelists. I have meetings awaiting. Please permit me to exit. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for your time today. Please fill the baseline survey. It's been shared on the chat box again. One more minute for questions, contributions. Okay, we have, all right, Dr. Igbokwe.
Good evening, everyone.
Go ahead, ma.
It's been a very wonderful interaction. I'm one of the persons that believe in all these modern things, but I'm in the academia. I will keep having challenges with some older ones that believe we have to do it Lord Lugard way. So I would want us as a body, vets, to keep encouraging ourselves when we have the opportunity to let people learn. You can imagine somebody in 2026 taking vaccination in poultry with the old systems when it has even moved to Innovo. Nobody is talking about Innovo feeding, sexing, vaccination in birds in 2026. We've even passed that now, we're in AI. So it's a good thing that we have this kind of thing to interact. Vet Connect, I applaud this. Please continue to interact with all vets in the academia, in the research, in the private practice, because it's like those in the academia have a clique that these other organizations find it difficult to break. But please, people should feel free to interact with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Igbokwe. Dr. Swam, you can go now.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator. And I would like to take this time to appreciate our speakers and the panelists for doing a great job. driving the consciousness of the need for all veterinarians to embrace the use of AI in this present time is a conversation that is long overdue, and several of us have been using different AI tools for different purposes, and has been enhancing our work in other aspects, but we have not seen that we could deploy that even in our veterinary practice. And at some point, we may have used AI somehow, but we really don't know we used it. But just as the last speaker also said, this conversation is quite very, very timely. And like I said in my comment in the chat box, you cannot desire what you have not experienced. And this conversation is simply bringing to mind what really is possible when we adopt AI. And it's going to spark a desire, just as Dr. Femi talked about the desire and having high ambition. That ambition comes from that desire, and it's this kind of conversation that will spark that desire. It begins to bring our minds to the point where we know that something exists beyond what we already know and what we are doing that can enhance our productivity and delivery on our job as veterinarians. So I would like to sincerely applaud the wealth of knowledge that have been deployed. We have learned greatly, and I just was thinking that this, beyond just us adopting the use of AI, is going to also spark thoughts, ideas in people, veterinarians that are tech-driven, to begin to think on developing, deploying AI tools that are indigenous to us here in Nigeria and Africa that we can begin to use. And if they are indigenous, they definitely we are going to factor in a whole lot of peculiarities and things that are here with us that may not be found in other places, such that we will get better results from them when we deploy it. And as against we trying to use AI tools from that are not local or indigenous. So that's one of those are my, I pray that as we continue in the conference from tomorrow, we'll get to learn more and see more of what is happening in the AI space. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Swen. Thank you so much. So thank you once again, everyone. And apologies to those whose hands are still up. We cannot take any further questions due to our time. So we'll continue tomorrow. As we conclude on this insightful day one of the African Animal Health AI Summit, we'd like to sincerely thank everyone for your active participation, your thought-provoking contributions, and commitment to shaping the future of animal health in Africa. Special thanks to our speakers, Dr. Patrick and Dr. Moses in absentia, and to our panelists, Dr. Gani, Dr. Femi, and Dr. Puspa. Thank you so much once again. So tomorrow promises to be even more exciting and practical and transformative As we prepare for day 2, we encourage everyone to come with an open mind, a spirit of curiosity, and a willingness to embrace innovation. Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant concept. It is becoming an essential tool that will influence how we learn, diagnose, manage, communicate, and deliver veterinary and animal health services across Africa, as mentioned by most of our speakers today. So tomorrow we'll be having expert presentations, interactive panel sessions, and a live demonstration of the Vertify Pro. Trust me, you do not want to miss any of those. So the question today now is no longer whether AI will impact veterinary medicine. It already has. But the question now is, are we prepared to learn, adapt, collaborate, and lead in this new era? We look forward to welcoming you all for another impactful day of learning, discussion, and innovation. So see you tomorrow at the African Animal Health AI Summit 2026. Thank you so much and have an amazing evening.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to our participants. See you tomorrow.